for the men who may be watching, or the partners of the men who may be watching, and they're about to become parents for the first time ever, and they have absolutely no idea about parenthood. They have no idea about, the mystery behind it all. Like, to speak to the fathers and the men directly, like, what wisdom or advice, if any, like, do you have for them as they move through this big transition in life?
Oof, huge transition. I would say practices of quieting the mind, practices of returning back to the breath, practices of releasing tension from the body. Because if we go through this phase of our life tight, are you really ever in flow? And I feel like the tension starts with the mind, and the mind is always afraid. Oh my God, this is new. What's going on? Oh my God, is the baby breathing? Oh my God, did I do enough? Oh my God, the dishes. Oh my God. There's always something for the mind to latch onto, for the body to become tense in. And I would say deepen your practices of relaxation and trust. And I know it's so hard as a man to try and say, like, it's not necessarily your responsibility. There's layers to this. It's not your responsibility to hold it all together. It's that responsibility is a shared unit amongst everybody. And maybe you give 10% one day, you give 50% one day. Maybe you are the one who holds the chunk of it the most. But remove pressure of the mind thinking that you have to have it all together and you have to be and you and you and you and you. It's no longer a you situation when it's family, relationships, and raising children. Now it's us and it's us and it's us. Um, so I would say first things first is stick to whatever helps you stay regulated. And then from that regulated state,
Dive
go
in.
dive in. And,
Something, sorry to cut you off, there's something that I remember people telling us a lot as we were about to become parents for the first time was, don't compare the roles that you are doing, because obviously, like, as parents, you're going to have very, very different roles. The mother is going to be like predominantly breastfeeding and nursing and really like physically tending to the baby in close proximity. And the father usually takes on the roles as like, okay, he's going out for work. Maybe he's doing more of the dishes, the cooking, the cleaning, whatever it may be, if they don't have that support system in place. And I noticed you and I fell into that trap, and with our first child, big time, where it's like, well, I'm doing this, but I'm doing this. And we would kind of like bait each other of like who is doing more and always comparing. And I feel like that was really not healthy for our relationship at the time. And it was like a really big struggle for us. At least that's what I remember from the experience. Whereas like the second time around, we have a support system, we have help now, which I think is the most important thing that people can do, is to set up and create that support system. Now that we have that in place, I feel like we're more grounded and anchored into the roles that we play without it having to be like a comparison game or like who is doing the most. And I think that's really, really healthy for the relationship to have like, okay, know that these are going to be your established roles for however many years, that you're going through this. And ultimately, they're going to shift and change and transform over time. But ultimately, like, we're a team. And we're not working against each other, even though like sometimes it could feel like it in the early stages of postpartum, where my mental health like took a huge hit and we were going through a lot. So I think just remembering that, like, you guys are a team, like you guys are here to raise this child and support each other, and just keep coming back to that, I think is like really, really important.
I agree. That's a
Yeah.
huge thing. And even more so when you're at these beginning stages of parenting, more so when it's your very first child, you will experience exhaustion like you've never experienced exhaustion. Like you've never been tired until you are sleep deprived. You're a couple days into this new adventure of being a parent, and whatever it is, a few weeks in, a few months in, you're like, wait a minute, I'm still tired. And I feel like when you take on responsibilities on top of being tired, your sensitivity levels go up. And it's almost like I secretly am wanting praise for still doing something that I should already be doing, but because I'm still doing it and I'm tired. So it's like, if I wasn't tired, it'd be easy breezy, the dishes cooking, boom, boom, boom. It's normal. But when you do things and you're tired, everything becomes so much more of like there's just a little bit of aggression and anger and something that I heard along the way that really made a difference for me was changing the sentence in your mind of I have to I get to. That alone puts you in a whole mental state to do whatever it is you're doing. There's a stack of dishes that's just been piling for the last couple of days. You can do them angry. You can do them with frustration. The whole time you're doing it, you're not even present. You're just, you know what I mean? Or you can do it with like, wow, what a blessing that I get to serve our family in this way. I get to step up in this way. I get to help. I get to, not I have to. All of a sudden you're doing these motions and there's no long there what's the word I'm thinking of? Selflessness. It's no longer about you and just you. And learning how to adapt from going life is you to life is us. That transition it takes time to let go of life for me and now life as a family. And I think that integration, everyone walks through it at their own pace and manages and learns how to balance it their own ways. But that's an interesting topic of conversation, of learning, like, how do you embrace living for you to living for the family, or living as a unit? No one really talks about that.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that's one of the biggest things that shocked me in becoming a parent was how drastically our relationship changed after becoming parents. Obviously, we didn't have so much time before as a couple in the honeymoon phase. And to go from that like super yummy, loved up life is so easy breezy, we spend the days however we want energy, to like boom, like now our boat's being rocked, now we're like deep in it, sleep deprived, we're not having help, we have no idea what we're doing, we have a baby who's got colic and screaming all day, and life just got dialed up like a million times stress. Obviously that's going to impact the relationship, and this impacts many people's relationships, right? In the first year of parenthood, like the figures are so high that people separate in the first year because we're not taught about this. We're not told, hey, your relationship is really going to go through the ringer. But I feel like if people have the awareness of like, okay, your relationship is going to suffer, that is normal, that is welcomed, you guys are figuring out, you're growing it together. I think it really plants a seed of like, okay, this is a rough moment in time, but we will come out on the other side. We're going to come out stronger versions than we were aware that we even had inside of us. We're going to be meeting new versions of one another. And I think particularly more so for the mother, because the mother goes through like the deepest transformation in motherhood due to the process of matrescence, which is, for the audience, a huge drastic shift in hormones that she experiences. It's like is bigger than going through adolescence. So the mother has just become this whole new woman, and I guess the father is like in some ways like perhaps like questioning his roles in all of this when the mother is, taking care so much of the baby. And it's just such a crazy hard time. At least that was our experience. I know that's not everybody's experience, but I just want to normalize that it's okay if your relationship goes to shit. Like, stick together. You guys are a team. You're gonna make it work. Try your best to know that this really is just a season. This is not your forever. Because what I noticed for myself in the postpartum depression is like life felt like hell around me, and I felt like this is my life forever now, and that gave me a lot of anxiety.
Yeah. More tension, more stress, more anxiety. Yeah.
Yeah, and to know how quickly it all really passes and changes, I just wish I could know that. Like I wish I really deeply understood that. I think that would have helped my mental health a lot more. So I just wanted to speak on that. Like, yeah, the relationship is gonna struggle, but you guys will get there and get get that like a lot stronger as
God
a
bless.
unit. You're going to grow and evolve so much together.
There's something that you said there. Beautiful, by the way. Thank you so much. I agree with everything you said. It all resonates. It all speaks to me. You said at one point, when the relationship starts to take its cracks and its dents in the armor. You know what I mean? It's uh-oh, we got a hole here. Oh, we're starting to go down. Oh my God, it's starting to get intense. You said that's allowed. That's welcomed. That's okay. And I feel like we're not told that enough. We're given this fake idea of like, you can't even make mistakes. You got to get it right. You have to be happy. You have to be on top of it. You have to have it together. So then when the relationship starts to take hits, which it's inevitably going to, people panic because they're like, wait a minute, it's no, 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 no. I have to stay in control. I'm manning the boat here. No, 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 no. What do you mean? Why is this breaking? Why is this breaking? And we crack under pressure. But if you say to yourself, hey, it's gonna get crappy. It's gonna get scary. It's gonna get hard. But that's welcome. That's okay. I don't resist the difficulty. Embrace it as part of the dance. And I mean, take steps back, take steps forward, drown for a little bit, fly for a little bit. Like you're gonna experience all of it. So it's just, again, embracing the rhythms. And I just love that you said allow. Because allow to me is an exhale. Allow is, I'm done fighting, I'm done resisting. Now flow can move. And now we can move with the rhythms, with the flow, and we can go to where we're supposed to be.
Absolutely. And this reminds me a lot of conversations that we've had before, right? Of like, what is love truly? Like, are you just gonna throw it away when things get hard or if it doesn't look a certain way? Like, I feel like in the culture in which we're living, of this like fast pace, everything's disposable, like, I feel like people experience relationships in the same way they experience like, I don't know, like takeout. Like, oh, this gave me a little food poisoning, done. Didn't like this
Mm-hmm.
flavor, done. And just go, 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 go. But I feel like there is going to be no relationship in your life that doesn't have the bumps in the road. Like the bumps in the road are actually spaces in which you can grow and evolve together once you move through, you know, the work that you need to do. But like why are people running away from that, you know? So
Mm-hmm.
that's how I see it in terms of parenthood. Like the bumps are going to be there, like you said, the highs are going to be there, the lows are going to be there. And I think true love is ultimately knowing that that's all ahead of you and choosing this person anyway, even if like right now they're postpartum, or even if right now they're going through depression, or even if right now they feel lost and they don't know what their place is in the world anymore. Like, can we still show up and love them anyway? And of course, like, I'm not advocating to stay in like a toxic or abusive relationship when that relationship is essentially a safe space. Like, can we commit to loving that person? Because ultimately, the way that we love our partners is the way that our children learn to love their partners in life. You know, we set the blueprint for them. And I think also we need to place more emphasis on that. You know, I think even for you and I as well, of like prioritizing the relationship, because that is the blueprint of how they choose to show up in love, in partnerships, in life. Like, it's so, so important. Because I think sometimes we can even be guilty of like placing so much emphasis on the kids, the kids, the kids, where we can then sometimes forget about us as a couple in which, you know, their love, they came through us, right? So I think that's something that I'm still like learning to work on as well in parenthood, is remembering who you are outside of just the role that you play as like mother and father, you know. So I just wanted to share that a little bit.
Thank you, my love. There was one point I wanted to add as well. Um, you had mentioned like a lot of people, well, who knows what the numbers are, but we've seen it, you hear about it, that couples relationships crumble in the first year. It just happens because you hit a storm that you've never had to ever go through before, and you realize this is not for me, or I'm scared, or I don't know what to do, and so I'm gonna leave. I feel like how you respond to that, I feel is a huge showing of your actual character.
Mm.
And it goes to show you how many times in life have you actually been challenged? And what did you do at the face of that challenge? Did you go, no, and avoid it and leave? Like, is that just your conditioning? So when that presents itself in the form of relationship and new parents and new stage, and is it just too much for your nervous system to handle? Because it's never been put through that test. Specifically for me, I've been an athlete my whole life. So like my mind knows when it gets tough, that's when I am my best. Like, oh, okay. When it's easy, it's easy. It's easy, it's easy. When it gets tough, what do? Who are you under pressure? Who are you when you want to quit? Who are you? And I feel like we never really get to meet that part of ourselves before that knock on the door of now you're a parent, now you're in the mix, now you're in the deepest water you've ever been in. And it's like we're never put to that test. And like, especially if you're not an athlete, because now you don't have discipline, you don't have routine of I'm sure there are other ways in which you can have discipline and not be an athlete. But for me, because that's been my whole life, I really put two and two together of like, wow, being an athlete has made me a better human. It's made me a better father, a better partner, a better friend, a better person. I just thought about that just now. Like we're never tested. You know
Mm.
what I mean? In our lives, you go through adolescence, you go through your things, and then all of a sudden now you're an adult and you're off.
Mm.
But how many times have you really, 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 really been like tested? And what did you do under that test?
Mm.
I think it's very common for people to avoid the discomfort
Mm.
and go, I'd rather not. And that's why I think everything is so disposable, is so fast paced, is so
Mm.
next, 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 next.
Mm-hmm. We're still getting tested, folks.
All day, every single
Every
day,
day.
every day you're being tested.
Doesn't end. I think
Hmm.
it just brings like you just go through like deeper and deeper and deeper layers. Like the work is never really done.
Mm,
Like there's always so much more to unravel on the journey of
mm,
parenthood. But what I've noticed is how expanded my window of tolerance has become in motherhood. From exactly like life before, I've never had to deal with anything like what I've dealt with in motherhood, but like my capacity to be able to handle that has become so wide that I feel like I can face anything now. Like I gave
mm,
birth twice, like natural home birth twice. Like I can do anything. Like I
mm-hmm,
really feel like that's given me a sense of empowerment as well. Like I can handle like screaming toddler and not be affected. Just feel like the calm anchor
mm,
in which he is. I'm trying to gravitate him into my calm, and like that is
mm,
never like a skill I've had to experience in
mm,
life, you know. So
mm-hmm.
I think yeah, it's really motherhood has taught me so much, and
Yeah.
so grateful to witness that.
One thing for me, which has been really sweet as a parent in around the world of emotions and navigating that, it's like always, I'm a Leo. I'm just naturally very positive. And so when I see people that are down naturally, I want to bring them up. I want them to be happy. I want them to be, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Not that I want you to neglect and bury your feelings and avoid.
Mm-hmm.
Just in the moment, if I see you crying, I'd rather see you smiling. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And like than to see you in pain or to see you suffering. That's just like my character. But as a parent, I've had to embrace allowing them to be sad. Sit with that sadness. Sit with that anger instead of immediately, let me make you happy. Let me change that. It's like, no, because we can't change them. We can't say, okay, stop crying, smile now. You know what I mean? Or, hey, what? I had to learn to allow people to work through their own emotions and then be there on the other side to help them navigate them, if they wish, to a more positive state. Or sometimes you know what I mean, you want to hold on to your anger. And sometimes with Solar, he's angry, and I'm like, oh man, okay, well, he doesn't want me to take away his anger. So I have to allow him to hold it for as long as he feels it to be necessary. And that's something that I never did before.
Right.
Like, even like before having kids, in partnerships, if someone was sad, hey, let me make you feel better. If someone's crying, hey, let me help you, I want to see you bright. And it was always like, in a way, let me take away your pain. Let me remove your sadness. Let me remove your, I want to see you shine. I've had to embrace that as a father.